Good morning, gang. Ah, yeah. I thought I was over this completely until I got up this morning, and apparently I'm not. I still have a sore throat, my sinuses are yucky, and so I took one Dayquil because I thought, I don't want to take two. I'm going to take two. Ugh. So, anyway, um, that's not a good thing to do when you have a sore throat, is it? So anyway, today's going to be a long podcast, more or less. Depends on how fast I get through this. So what I decided to do is put times down in the show notes. So when I start a different section, you can just go down through the show notes and say, oh, I really don't care about this. Okay, I know I'm going to go to, I don't know, 5 minutes and whatever, and, hit that part because that's what I really want to know about. But anyways, to start off with, we're talking my cat, Abbey. May she rest in peace. Abigail, I had, as everyone knew, yesterday I was going to have her put down. So I had Abby put down yesterday. Thankfully, I didn't have to stick around. And the thing is it has taken me 2 years, actually. She should have been put down 2 years ago. I couldn't do it. Because she would go through real bad moment and then she'd snap out of it and then she'd be right back in it again and just in and out because, basically she had feline leukemia, which means everybody's at risk, basically. But that's what she had. And she held on for a good 2 years. And over the weekend when I woke up and she was just literally, I mean, not a little bit of pee, saturated. You could have wrung her tail out. There was so much urine in it. And she'd gotten to where I noticed on the weekend that she wasn't squatting anymore. She was just standing upright and peeing any place she darn well pleased. Wood floors that are really old and decrepit, believe me, it just soaks right in. So I'll be forever and a day trying to get the smell out of the wood because, I mean, you can go over it all you want to, keep putting straight vinegar on it is supposedly supposed to get out the odor. And it does work. It works tremendously on it, better than anything else. But you still end up pouring more stuff on. But anyway, so I finally got up the courage to go. And I put her in a cage over the weekend on Sunday. And I thought, okay, this is one more step towards, getting you there. And it was a great big dog cage. It wasn't anything small. And of course, the place she wanted to sleep was inside of her dirty litter box. And she wouldn't get out. She'd just lie there and she'd pee and she'd lay in it. And I mean, there was no point in trying to move her. There was no point in trying to clean the litter box every 5 seconds. It just wasn't going to happen. She'd just lie in it anyway. So I thought by the time yesterday rolled around, I was just so ready to let her go. And I get to the vet, and what happens? They're so busy that I'm there for 50 minutes. Well, during that 50 minutes, I'm trying so hard. Abby's in the box. I'm trying. She's going to sleep. It was obvious. When we hit the place, it was like she knew she was at the vet, so she just went to sleep. And I was like, I'm getting weaker by the minute. Every minute I have to be in the vet's office. I'm starting to think about her dying. I thought about knitting. I thought about crochet. I tried to think about anything, birding, anything to take my mind off of her. And by the end, 50 minutes, the receptionist comes over. She said, would you just like to pay for it now and get it over with? Yes, I would. So I paid for it, and I went back and I sat down and I thought, this is stupid. I just paid for it. She knows what's going to happen. We all know what's going to happen. So I went up to her. I said, look, can I just leave her here? And I'll come back next week and get her because I don't have a ride back to town until next week. And so she was like, yeah, okay, I can't do it. And I have to ask the vet. So she went back. She asked the vet. And he came out and he said, sure. And I said goodbye to her, told her I'd see her next week. And so next week I'll go pick up her little frozen body and I will bury it. And today I'm going to go out and dig her little grave. But that was hard. I mean, I've had her for 13 years and she was born in my closet. That was a surprise. I had no idea Kitty was in the closet and she was there. And it's like, and she had the most beautiful almond eyes. She really did. But it was so funny, and I don't know what happened. But from like birth, she just didn't. She wasn't real keen on people. She was just antsy around them, which she may have inherited from her mother or something. But her sister, Squeaky, who was murdered by a coyote back in August, she was affectionate as everything. And eventually, as time went on, Abbey became affectionate. So, but anyways, that's a nightmare that's over with. So yesterday was just thrown off because Mom was like, well, we can't take the cat in and go shopping when it's going to be that late. So we went in town. I got my shopping over with for the week. Oh, don't want you near the Kleenex, babe. And then we had to go back in with the cat. So my whole day was shot as far as accomplishing anything. So it wasn't until last night I finally got around to getting day 30 on. And I'm so excited. I did it differently. As you can see, yesterday when I got up, okay, still snow on the ground. I'm still happy about that. The sky was blue, and then it went gray, and then it went blue again. And I could have done that all day. Blue, gray, because that's all it did. It kept going, it would be overcast, and next thing you know, oh, look, there's a bit of blue. And so that was it. But it was warmer, and it was doing all that because today it's supposed to rain all day, eventually. So anyways, and it's warmer, which is nice. So this is what I did. And I've saved the end to last because I wanted to show you something. And I don't remember if I've done this before, but I'm going to do it now. So I'm pushing 60. Okay, I'm going to claim anything for memory lapses. And I had a stroke. I'm claiming that one too. Okay, so everybody who knits, you know how to bind off in the traditional fashion of using the knit one, and then knit another one and pull the right one over the left. Knit one, pull the right over the left, blah, going across. The thing I hate about the traditional method of bind off is that, hold on, I have to make a note of when this started, and I think that was probably around 7. I'll have to get back and check. All right, so this is when, I'm sorry, I'm going to write this down. Binding off. There we go. Binding off comes off around that time. Okay, there we go. Got it. All right. I hate it. It creates a tighter bind off than I want. And I like my ends to be nice and stretchy. So just like with the beginning, when I cast on, to the traditional cast on tends to be really stiff. Even when I try when I try to loosen the cast on, it doesn't work. That makes a sloppy look. So I like doing the long tail cast on, or slingshot cast on, however you want to call it, because it makes, a nice stretchy edge to it, which is especially good with gloves and stuff. So what I've learned to do with this is a neat little trick that I saw in a book, and that's using a crochet hook to bind off with. And that really gives it a flexy edge. So how do you do that? Well, I'm using a Clover bamboo, best needles in the world, 10.5, which is a 6.5 millimeter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my crochet hooks and I'm going to look at what I got. And what I have is a 6.5 millimeter would be a K hook. So now if you want, you could also drop down and just use a J hook. It's a 6 millimeter, and I've done that and I haven't seen where it's made, too big of a whammy-do business about it. So you can use either one. I do. Today I'll go ahead and use this. So now this is the way that I do it, okay? And oh shoot, look what I did. Dummy. Hello. Oh, I screwed that up. Well, because it's mine and I don't care, I'll get back to you in a minute. I'm just going to tie on a piece of, I forgot, I cut that. I'm going to just tie on a piece of yarn and say, I really don't care. No, I'm not even going to do that. I'll just stay here and grab this and pull it through. Okay, so if you do something stupid like that and you really don't care how it looks at the end, and I don't, I am going to just tie a little knot here. Seriously, I am the sloppiest knitter on the planet because I really don't care. I'll pull this down a little bit. I'm going to do this and do over again. Makes a little bigger knot. I don't care. It's also a stronger knot. Ooh, that didn't work. Usually a stronger knot. Come here. All right, you little mud-sucking pig. Hold on. It's not lying flat. There we go. Up, over, and you're going, dang, man, I don't want to learn from you. Look at you. You are so classless. Look at that. Yeah, I am, but there's a lot of other sloppy knitters out there, guys. You know you are. Okay, there we go. So that's good enough for government work, and bam. And since I used to work for the government, I can say it with a fact. Okay, now, here we go. Knots on. I'm happy now. Okay, so I'm going to pull this up and get this down. Now, I'm sure you, like I said, I'm sure you have your own way of doing it, but as long as it creates a nice bind off and it doesn't look tacky, except for the way I just did it right then, who cares? All right, so what I'm going to do is, I'm sorry that I don't have this done up nicely enough, but I'm going to slip my crochet hook as if to knit into the first stitch. I'm going to pull it off, okay, and into that. Ta-da! Now I have the first stitch onto this. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do it again. I'm going to put in as if to knit, pull it up, and once I've got that second thread on the hook, I'm just going to pull it through that first stitch. Bingo! And that's all you're going to do all the way across. Just pull it up, off, and there. Insert as if to knit, take it off the needle, and then take that loop and pull it through that first loop. And the loop, you know, the other loop on your needle, whatever. And that's how you do it all the way across. And what you'll end up with, oh, stupid knot. You had to come to the front? Darn it. I thought it would go to the back. Usually it goes to the back. And that's what you're going to do all the way across. Is just whack a doodle in and out. And make sure you don't pull that tight, because you really don't want that tight. You just want a nice loose bind off. Not super loose, but, you know, where it's a decent bind off on it. And that's the way it'll go all the way across. And I'll show you what it looks like in a minute. But make sure when you do it, you get a crochet hook that matches the needle that you're working with. Just look at the millimeters on it. That's the only way you can do it, is look at the millimeters. And here we go. Almost done. Oh, and guys, I came up with what I'm going to do for my next one. I was almost certain yesterday, and today I am definitely certain. My next 30-day experiment scarf is going to be all based on birds. And I'll tell you a little bit more about it as soon as I get finished with this one. And the wise ins and outs of it. Uh-oh. Ow! Get in there. Come on, you little rat. Here we go. Up. And the last one goes in, and you can't see me fighting with it. Okay. There we go. And it's up. Voila! And, hold on. I'm going to cut my strand here that I'll eventually weave in. Okay, and then just take that little end, grab it, pull it through the loop. Bingo. You're set. Okay, now look. Nice, stretchy, and that's how it looks. Let me see if I can see it. Yeah, that's how it looks. And isn't that beautiful? I mean, that is so nice. It's such a nice bind off. It's a neat bind off. And I just absolutely love it. So that's my newfound favorite for binding off. is using the my crochet hook to do it with. And one more time, make sure you look at the millimeters on your needle, and then go into your crochet hook collection and find one that matches it. So in this case, 10.5 clover needle that I'm using to do the scarf is 6.5 K hook, okay? Because they're both 6.5 millimeters. And that's what you're going to use for it. So it's just so simple. I mean, it's such a nice, and it's a faster bind off than a traditional method as well. Now, I've got a billion ends to weave in, so now you know how I'm going to be spending my evenings, weaving in a billion ends. But anyway, so there's there, and that's that. And now at 15:55, nope, it'll be at 16 minutes, I'm going to start in on my new scarf. Okay, so my new scarf idea is I decided I would go with the with using birds, mainly because you guys know how it is when you sit down to knit, and especially if it's your business, knitting, crochet is your business, you get so caught up in it that, you know, within a blink of an eye, 8 hours have passed, your butt is still sitting in the chair, you know, and you just forget to go outside because you're so caught up in everything that has to be done. And so metal detecting gets me outside and gets me some fresh air. I have a propane heater sitting right there, so you really need to get out and get some fresh air as you're sitting here slowly asphyxiating yourself. But that's my excuse for metal detecting, aside from the fact that I'm just obsessed with looking for history and stuff. Which, by the way, speaking of which, where is my head? I have no clue. But today when I was preparing this lesson and I was thinking about bird watching, and I was going through my all-time favorite book, The Birdwatcher's Handbook, written by Mark Clifford Brunner. Ta-da, it says so right there. I'm saying that because if you go on and you look for this book on Amazon, you're going to see some woman claiming that she wrote it. She didn't. He did. It's right there. But anyway, what is it? Oh, it's got a birding calendar. And for years and years, literally years and years, my whole world was wrapped around that birding calendar. Because every month it tells you the best places to find birds. So when I was thinking about using birds to design my next scarf, I was looking at, it was like, okay, this is week 2. I should be at the ocean looking at on a winter birding trip. Can't do that because I can't drive anymore because of the stroke. Thank you, strokes. So, and I've got cats to take care of, so I just really can't go. So anyways, it was like water. See, next week, it's all bodies of water and ducks. And then the last week is waterfowl refuge and wintering ducks. And I remembered, I don't know why, all of a sudden it was like, oh yeah, there's our pond. We had a pond on the hill. And then there's also a small reserve about 3/4 of a mile away from here. And it was like, oh, you idiot! Why haven't you taken the metal detector there? There's the foundation of an old home. It would be the perfect place to do metal detecting. So when it gets really decent, I'm going to go there and with my detector and have some fun. But anyways, yeah, new place to go. Of course, the ground's going to have to unthaw because right now, I mean, when I go to dig Abigail's grave today, that's going to be an experience. Trying to get that shovel through, but I want to bring her home. I don't want her buried at the vet's place. So anyway, so I'm going to go there and also do some birding. And I've got a big poster board in the kitchen put up, and I've got pictures of it on there. I'll post a picture later on Instagram. And every day I'm going to be writing down which birds I see. And of course then I'm going to be pulling out my Peterson's Field Guide and going over the collars. Now, this is what I'm doing different this time. And Ooh, I'm thinking of doing it because it's going to be different. I'm going to change it up because it is over the course of 30 days still. Unless I change my mind and it'll be 15. But I'm not going to do this one. I did all in garter stitch. Not doing that again. I want to change it up. That's boring. So I'm thinking this time what I'm going to do is either a seed or a moss stitch and do the whole thing. But the difference is, aside from, I'm also going to be doing the sky because I want to record what the weather was like that day when I was out, bird watching. I'm using 2 strands of yarn. So this next one will be double strands. So, and that's something that Lee Redmond mentions in this, is using 2 strands and using both at the same time. And so you're going to have a double thick scarf. So what I'm going to do is I'll pick out 2 birds and I'll take the a collar from each one and I'll combine those 2 different strands and I'll use them both at the same time instead of doing what I did this time. Okay, and then of course the sky, I'm going to do the exact same thing. If it's cloudy and yet there's a blue, instead of doing them separately, I'm just going to put the 2 yarns together and moss stitch them or whatever. So that's what the next one is going to be. So there we go on that one. But anyway, so if you want to do that, get yourself a Peterson Field Guide. To me, this is one of the best. This one is, how old is it? Ooh, I got it for my 34th birthday. This was a second one I had. I don't know what happened to my first one, but this is my second one. A friend of mine who's also a birder gave it to me for my 34th birthday, and that was, what is it, 24 years ago, something like that? No, 22 years ago. Anyway, so that's where that came from. It'd be 22 years ago, so that baby has really been through it. And then what else was it? Get you one of those. And then just go through, look at the collars of the birds. And, of course, some of those are in black and white. Yeah, still in black and white. Oh, there we go. Now we've got some stuff. And just really fun to pick out whatever collars, or go online and look at whatever bird and learn a bit about them. I mean, it's a great chance to learn about birds if you don't know anything about them and stuff. And, using your knitting as an educational tool. What more could you ask for? Okay, so that's it for that. And then, what else was it? Oh, in case you noticed this, I don't know if you were able to see it or not. Excuse me. But this is, I have a set. I can't find my other one at the moment. Don't know what the cats did with it. This is a mosaic wristband. And the reason I made these was because, one, it keeps the draft in the wintertime from going up your sleeve. And I did this last year. And the other thing is because I have arthritis and trouble with my wrist, that it keeps it nice and warm. Okay, sorry, I thought I heard a dog and one of my cats are out. So anyway, it keeps it nice and warm. And where I got the idea from was from Creative Knitting Magazine. Hold on, I forgot to write that down. 22 roughly minutes in. Okay, sorry. Creative Knitting Magazine. On page, winter 2015, on page, 54, it gets into mosaics and making different things from boot cuffs and to arm warmers. It's the wrong side, sorry. And arm warmers. And as you can see, that top part, I took the collar idea from that top one and used it to make this one. And because I really like that collar combo. So that's what I did with it, and that's how I ended up with these. Now, those were for arm warmers, but you don't have to make an arm warm with it. You can just cut it short and stop it short and make a wrist warmer instead. And so that's how I got these buggers. And let's see, was there anything else? Oh, yeah, another thing. Making most of time at 25 minutes. And with this one, I'm going to end. But when we were at Walmart yesterday, I was standing there waiting for Mom because I finished before her, and we always meet up in the produce section. So I'm waiting and waiting. And I was sitting there, it was like, oh, man, I'm losing so much time today with the way everything had gone, and I was accomplishing virtually nothing. And so I thought, okay, what could I be doing? And then it was like, I have extra index cards in my pocket, and I have a pen. So I came up with more hat designs. So I just sat, I made up some hat designs, and tweaked some of the ones that I'd already done, and played around with it some more. And I thought, well, okay, at least I was productive for a little bit. So if you're caught in line at Walmart and you're sitting in a line and you're bored out of your mind waiting for that register to get to get up to the register, that's a great time to design. Make the most of it. You know, either have your crochet or your knitting with you, or have extra index cards in your pocket and just sit and play with knitting designs, you know, and see what you come up with. And so with that, I am going to sign off. Yay, I made it before the half hour was up. And before my battery dies on my laptop, it's even better. So that's it. And I'll see you tomorrow. And is that it? No, I'll tell you what I am going to be doing today, though. What I'm doing today begins at 26:45. I finished my almost finished my great niece's fingerless mitts. Today I've got to sew them up, and then they'll be ready to go. And then my niece-in-law, is she a niece? Yeah, my niece-in-law, she wants a hat, a ponytail hat done up in this, which is what is it? One more time, I give it up. It's the same old wool ease, as much as I work with this one. It's Lion Brand wool ease in the Chestnut Heather. And she wanted the hat done in it, so I'll be working on gauges this morning, trying to make gauge on it. And yeah, that's it. That's going to be my day. Once I've got that gauge down and the right needles, buddy, I am going to be flying on this thing to get it done. So I don't know if it's going to be Woolly Wormhead's tea cozy hat, or if it's I think it was called Katrina or something like that I did from the Hip Knit Hats book. But I think it's the tea cozy hat. It's the tea cozy hat. So I'll be using Woolly Wormhead's pattern on that. But anyways, I'll show you the update on that tomorrow, and have a great day. And I'm going to take the other half of the Dayquil tablet. Catch you later, guys.